Shonda, and welcome to my channel. This is where we talk all things gardening, herbs, and aromatherapy. Today I have a nice recipe to share with you. It is a Thyme Oxymel, and an oxymel is an herb preparation or remedy that we use where we combine herbs with vinegar and honey as a home remedy. As I said, we will be making an oxymel today, and when you're making an oxymel, you're actually using vinegar as a solvent to help release the medicinal properties out of your herbs. I am so excited to share this with you today. I hope you'll stick with me until the end. As stated earlier, our featured herb today will be thyme. I am using dried thyme because I know that this is a very common ingredient that most people have around their house. And right now on the channel, we're really focusing on using household herbs that you would have around in your spice cabinet to let you know and to show you that many of these things do have medicinal properties. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to take 2/3 cup, well, our ingredients that we're going to need today. Let me start there. Will be 2/3 cups of dried thyme, 2 ounces of honey, and about 1.5 cups of vinegar. We may or may not use all of this because we're going to start by, well, and also you're going to need a mason jar and a funnel and a lid to cover it with. And then of course we need our handy label so that we can label this, because this is a preparation that is going to need to sit a couple of weeks in order to be fully ready or prepared. First, we'll take the 2/3 cups of thyme. We'll take the 2/3 cups of thyme and get that into the jar first. Get it all in there, don't want to lose any of it. Now that we have our herbs in our jar, we will go ahead and place the honey in the jar. And there are many good qualities with honey. As we know, it's really good for like a sore throat and things of that nature. Also for allergies. This is a raw local honey that I got from a honey man right down the street. He's a beekeeper, and I just love that I can get fresh raw honey from a local source. So we're gonna take this, and I try to get all of it because honey is kind of pricey, and so I don't want to waste any of this at all. All right, so now we have our 2/3 cup thyme leaves, and then our 1/4 cup or 2 ounces of honey. And then we're gonna top this off or complete this recipe by going ahead and using apple cider vinegar. This is an organic raw apple cider vinegar that has the mother in it because we want all of those great medicinal properties. And this vinegar is actually used as a menstruum to help extract all the chemical constituents that we need for healing properties out of our herb. So we're going to go ahead and put as much of this as our jar will hold. I'm starting with 1.5 cups of vinegar, and we'll see how much is going to actually be able to fit in this jar. So I'm going to fill it up, not too much, enough so that I can stir, because I want all of my ingredients to be very well mixed together. So I'm going to give it a stir. See those air bubbles and how that air had to come out, because we want to release as much of the air as possible. And then we want to put as much of that vinegar in here as possible so that we don't leave a whole lot of head space. And when I say head space, I'm talking about the amount of room from the top of the jar, the amount of ingredients to the top of the jar. We don't want a whole lot of air in there, because in this case, air is not our friend. Looks like I'm going to be able to get all of it in the jar. So I'm going to give this a really good stir. And in the case of an oxymel, sometimes we'll make what is called a tincture, where you're going to use alcohol as your solvent to extract the medicinal properties out of your herb. But in some cases, you might want to give this to a child, or there may be for some reason that you don't want to use alcohol. So vinegar can be used as a solvent to extract the medicinal properties out of our herbs. Go ahead and get the rest of this in here. Right. There we go, we're just about there. So I will continue to stir, because I really want to make sure that this is well mixed. A little bit on the edge of the jar, I don't want that. Stirred it pretty good. Get them well mixed. I'm going to leave all that herbal goodness in there. And I've chosen a plastic top. I'm using a wide mouth jar, but I've chosen a plastic top because the old-fashioned canning lids have chemical properties that we don't release back into our remedy or our medicine. So I'm using this so that I can have a tight seal on my jar. And then we're going to give it a shake, maybe a couple of shakes. And this Oxymel, it can be used for maybe a congested cough or a sore throat. So what is going to happen is I'm going to have to let this sit for about 2 weeks, and then it will be ready to be decanted. I'm going to come back, and on the day that we decant this, I will record so that you can see the next steps. But before I do that, I want to go ahead and create a label for this, because life happens and it's a good chance that I'll forget when I started this. So I'll go ahead and label this. I'll label it Thyme Oxymel, and I will put today's date, which is November the 30th. 11/30/2023. Can't believe that November is already over. I'm going to put this right on top of the jar, but there's no question about what this is and when it got started. So each day for the next 2 weeks, I'll leave this on the cabinet where I can get right to it, and so that I will see it and remember it. Whenever I'm in the kitchen, I'll give it a gentle shake to make sure that all of my herbs are covered and they're continuing to soak in the menstruum, so that we'll have this opportunity to release all of the chemical constituents and properties that are in here that are good for medicine. And we'll have us a nice preparation so that as the winter time sets in, we will have this for congested coughs or sore throats that may come about. Why don't you let me know what it is that what herbal remedies you're working on? I sure hope that you decided to join me on my herbal journey. I hope that you are working with me. If you decided to make this recipe, please leave me a comment down below. Let me know how yours came out. And if you know someone else that you would think would find this information informative or helpful, please share my channel with them. Thanks, and I hope to see you here again.